Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today, there's a dude out there called Walter Jonesing for Movies who has put a challenge out and called me out specifically by name. So I've been a little bit swamped, but I told him I would get to it, and now we are here to take the Criterion challenge to pick 10, if I can only pick 10 Criterion movies, which would they be? Not really hard for me because I don't have that many. I think I have under 20. So it's more like just picking half of them. Yeah, we'll see what I got here. The last one, when I get to it, is interesting. You'll see when I get to the last one. I'm going to wait for that one. So, all right, let's get started. At number 10, I'm starting with this one because this is the one, this is in no particular order, but I am starting with the one I absolutely must have because it was one of my very first Criterion purchases, and that is War of the Worlds. Because, man, look, I love classic cinema, and this is classic sci-fi, and I'm a big sci-fi nut, and this one, the picture on this is stupendous. It's just so dang good. So I got to get me some sci-fi, some classic, and all that good stuff. So definitely War of the Worlds is coming with. Next up is going to be The Big Chill, directed by Lawrence Kasdan. I think he also wrote it. Yeah, and it's just a stunning cast. I mean, look at you got Tom Berenger, Glenn Close, Jeff Goldblum, William Hurt, Kevin Kline, Mary Kay Place, Meg Tilly, and Jo Beth Williams, all of whom just continued to thrive in the business. And this film is filled with just like wonderful music, and it's just, yeah, it's good time. So I want that for nostalgic purposes. Now, another one is something I bought this year for the first time, and it was a blast. I had a great time, and that is The Blob, the original Blob with Steve McQueen. I love practical effects. I'm with you. Tim talks talkies, and I think he and I are just practical effects nerds, man. I'll go to task for that for sure. And this was really well done. Like I thought it was just going to be super hokey, like maybe Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which was horrible. But no, man, it took itself for what it is seriously, and the blob effects were pretty good, especially for its time. And if you can immerse yourself into that fact, it's very entertaining. Next up, another film filled with fantastic music, coming of age, hits me right here because this is my era, my age, and that is Fast Times at Ridgemont High, chock full of just great stars. Judge Reinhold, Phoebe Cates, Jennifer Jason Leigh. I mean, it's just Forrest Whitaker, Sean Penn. I mean, man, just the list goes on and on. Hey, bud, what's your problem? I mean, it's so highly quotable. Amy Heckerling just did an amazing job directing this film, and this is a fantastic release for this film. It's not John Hughes, but it feels like a John Hughes movie, right? It's got that sort of feel to it. I don't have any Criterion John Hughes. I don't have Breakfast Club yet, so this will have to serve the purpose for all of that type of genre. So definitely going with that. Next up, I've got to have this young lady with me, and that is Holly Hunter in broadcast news. I just adore her. She made my actress challenge, my top 25 actress challenge, and I do believe this is the film I pulled for her because she's just amazing. It was either this or Raising Arizona, but yeah, I went with broadcast news, and this is just a dynamite flick, nominated for an Academy Award. The whole film was like in Oscar contention and stuff. I don't think it's one of those that got some good nominations and kind of got shut out, but that's okay. Now here, there's also a chance to use a cheat, which I don't really care to do. Like, I don't need to do it, but since I'm only picking 10 and I don't have that many, and I do love Jackie Chan, by default, a cheat falls into this play, and that is this Jackie Chan collection. This is Police Story 1 and 2. You know all the good stuff right here. So I get both Jackie Chans in here. I'm a huge Jackie Chan fan. So, yeah, just by default, because I want Jackie Chan, it happens to be a double pack, and I will take that one cheat, Mr. Jones. All right, next is The Princess Bride. I mean, how can you go wrong with this Princess Bride? And it's so funny because my history with this film is when I first saw Princess Bride, I didn't get it, I didn't like it, I didn't care for it. And I'll be honest, I'm a big audio book purchaser because I used to drive long distances to work and home every day. I'd spend more time on the road. Almost 50% of my workday was on the road. So I invested in Audible. And may I say, Carrie Elwes's book, As You Wish, because he's always saying that in this film. I bought that because it looked like a fascinating book, and it was phenomenal. It was so good. If I can pitch an audiobook, it is that. And the book's great too, but the Audible book is even, well, I would say better, but it is better for me because I was on the road a lot, because not only does he read it, but Rob Reiner chimes in, Billy Crystal chimes in, they all add their 2 cents in, and it is just such good reading that by the end of it, I said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to rewatch Princess Bride until I finish that book. And when I finished the book, I had this huge appreciation for Princess Bride, and then I got this, saw it again, and now it's highly beloved, all because of that. So there you go. Next up is Marlon Brando's On the Waterfront. I remember when I was younger and I really started to immerse myself into more classic cinema. This was one of the ones I found first, and, you know, because I heard so much about Brando and how great he was. And may I say, this did not let down. So I'm really trying to kind of like run the gamut on this list. I realize too, when you're watching mine, I am not as eclectic as some people. So, you know, sorry, that's just how I lean. I know there's just phenomenal films out there that so many people love to showcase, and I love that. I love it, but it's just not in my collection. So these are the kind of titles you're going to see from me. You pretty much have heard of everything I'm pulling up. So speaking of Shaft, I got Shaft for the first time this year. Richard Roundtree. This is such a good film. I got this off the highly recommended comments from James over at 20th and 21st Movies. And may I say thank you, James, because this is an excellent movie. It's such a good time. Definitely going to toss in some Shaft. Now, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. Now, on my 10th one, I picked up 2. I usually don't do cold buys on Criterions because they're just too expensive. However, this year I did do 2 cold buys. And that is 2 cold buys would be 12 Angry Men and Seconds. And I've heard phenomenal things about both of these films. And because I've never seen either, this is what I'm going to do. Mr. Walter Jones and the people watching this video, you get to pick my last one. You get to tell me in the comments which one comes with. Do I take 12 Angry Men or do I take Seconds? Because I've heard just brilliant things about this film. I've actually never heard of this film until my buddies at 430 Movie, which is a podcast I listen to all the time, talk really great things about Seconds. Robert Meyer Burnett, if you're familiar with him, loves this film, calls it a perfect movie. And then, of course, just 12 Angry Men I have heard of and I hear is a great film. So my final criterion will be chosen by my fans. All right, guys, so please, this is very important. In the comments below, you must chime in. You must let me know of all of these films. First of all, what you think of my collection. I know it's a more standard collection than most people, but that's just how I roll. But the last 2 are very vintage films, Seconds and 12 Angry Men, and you get to decide. All right, that is it. I took the challenge. I will leave the link for Walter down below so you can check out the original challenge on this. And this is mine. There's a couple more out there, so feel free to sniff around and check those out as well. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. That's going to do it for now. If you're new to my channel, please get on down there and hit like, subscribe, and smack that bell. Give it a who's a who. A who's who. Stupid. All right, that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Until next time, I'll catch you later.